Hello everyone, welcome back to Bonsai Expression. I'm Christoph and today we're going to be looking at my variegated Serissa. Now I've not had this one on the channel per se, well at least not in a video in itself. I've had it here and there showing you and I've not really done too much work on it other than let it grow and done the minor trim. Now it's this little beauty right here. You can see it's had a bit of a growth, I wouldn't say growth spurt, but it's grown quite well. It's got extra growth where it's not really needed, so we need to do a bit of a detailed prune on it today. But the main concern I've got with it is these Serissas are apparently pretty notorious for, well, pretty difficult to keep, and the variegated version are even worse to keep apparently. So I've had this for a few years and I'm so petrified about killing it. I've left it in the same pot, in the same soil since I got it from day dot. It's doing quite well. It's grown really vigorous since I've had it. Again, I've not really done too much other than let it grow and give it a minor prune back here and there. But today, as you can see, it's quite full. It needs a detailed prune, but I'm finally going to bite the bullet and get it into a nice new pot, into my soil, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to continue to manage this tree and let it grow and have a wonderful life. Now, I just saw this. It's got a really good example of one of these. He's had it for, I don't know how many years now, a really long time, and he's recently won an award for it. So if you've not seen his, I recommend go over to his channel, check some of his videos out, because that guy, he knows his stuff, and he really knows his stuff in regards to his Serissas. I, on the other hand, I'm a bit of a novice. In fact, I consider myself lucky, so I've kept this one alive for the last 3-4 years. I think I've had this, and to get it to this sort of development, considering it was just literally the main trunk just here, and I've grown everything else off it, I think I'm doing particularly well. This has been grown inside over winter, and I bring it outside in the summer, well, late spring when it's warm, and then I let it outside in the summer, continue its growth, bring it inside in the plant room with the rest of the tropicals. Now, you might think, Christoph, it's February, well, late February going into March now. Might be a bit early for you to repot it. Well, no, because it's in my plant room, it's nice and warm, and I've got new growth all over this tree, as you can see. It's pushing growth, new buds. It's the time to repot. So I'm going to do it, and I've got a lovely little pot. I'm going to show you. It's just here. I've already set it up, or at least got it started setting up. So I've got it in this nice pot. As you can see, I paid £15 for this from the Birmingham. Always get that wrong. Birmingham Bonsai boot sale. So this is going to look absolutely fantastic in here. So we're going to go for something like that. I think, as you can see, it's going to do a world of good. It's going to make a hell of a lot of difference in terms of the styling. It's going to get it repotted. We're going to lose these lower branches where they grow from, because they like to sprout up at the bottom. So we're going to clean all that up. We're going to look at inside, anything that's coming out from where it doesn't need to be. We're going to give it a light prune on there, and then I'm not going to do too much of a heavy prune, at least. You know me, I probably will, but I don't want to. I'm just going to probably just maybe reduce some of the length on the outskirts, maybe here. I just neaten it up a little bit where I see fit, and then leave it to just recover, and then late spring we'll go in and maybe have a more detailed prune on it. Hopefully it survives, because I've never seen the roots on this. As I say, 4 years in this pot, it's way too long, way overdue. Although, looking under, I can see the roots, but they're not popping out, as you can see. Get you in. But that's probably because it's in awful dirt. So yeah, time to get into this. I'm going to try and hold back, because you know me, I do like to go heavy, but I'm not going to try it. I'm going to try my hardest not to do that today. I don't really know too much about these in terms of the root pruning side of it. I think Nigel Saunders said they don't like to have heavy root prune on these, so just as little as possible. Just probably a minor trim around the edges, get it into this. That's where we're at with it today. Let's start going onto it. Okay, so stick around. Now I think I'm going to try a different camera angle for you today. I've got this set up slightly different. I've got a lower bench, which is one of my display benches from the other garden, so the last location we've got. I've got it set up as normal, so we are slightly lower, so I'm leaning towards the tree, which I think, where the camera's set up here, it's set up just on my left. It's small, sort of shoulder height. I think it's going to be best for you guys to have a look and see where we're at. So I'm leant over, which is not causing too much of a disturbance in sort of your viewing, and it looks like you've got a good view of the tree as well. So I think if this works well, let me know. We'll do some more camera angles like this as well for the next couple of repots come spring. Now, as you can see, I've got some of the old leaves that are just falling off by me touching it, which is normal for the Serissas, especially over winter. I've got one slightly dead branch by the looks of it down here. It might not necessarily be dead, but at least it's got dieback on it. But again, not too concerned. It's coming from the root, so that's going to go up. Just looking over the tree as well, just making sure everything is healthy with it, and everything looks okay. No dramas with it. I'm really happy with this one. As I say, the only worry I have had with this tree over the last few years is if I do come to repot it, how's it going to react? I'm just going to see how stable it is in this tree, in the pot. Can I just wiggle it out? And you can see it is well and truly securely attached in there, and that'll be because I've got 4 years worth of roots since I've had it anyway, and God knows how long it's been in this pot prior to me getting the tree. But this was actually I think I got this from Morrison's of all places, which is a supermarket. If you're not from the UK, it's one of our supermarkets. I don't actually shop at Morrison's, but I was just passing. One of our retail estates one of our retail shopping estates has a Morrison's on it in the next town over, and I popped in and I seen they had some bonsais, and this was one of them, so I decided to pick it up because I didn't have a Serissa, and I was quite interested in the fact that Nigel Saunders has got a really nice one, and Serissa over here, or at least in my area, is not as common. It's not as common to get hold of as in the rest of the UK. Oh, there you go. It's a bit smelly as well, actually, so you can see just how compacted them roots are, and then with this soil it's pretty terrible. So it's quite firm, and as I say, that soil does quite smell, and it's primarily just because the soil itself is pretty awful soil. So it's not too bad, really. I'll get you on a little bit better. So it is coming away quite nicely. So I guess if these are in not the greatest soil, the root development is slow going. I mean, you've got plenty on this side. Got plenty on this side here as well. It does look like I might have a little bit of root rot. That's probably because of the overwatering it is inside at the moment. Water doesn't go through very well. It is pot bound. And it could be because I've got a tiny little bit of fertilizer left on over there, so that could help. Well, it could not help, but it would contribute to the fact that it does smell. So let's work our way through this. Let's see what we're getting at. So I'll let you have a look, see if we can get into this before I actually turn you off and skip ahead. But we'll just see, we'll tease a bit of these roots out and see what we're working with. See how thick they are. So this section here is not too bad. Got quite a bit of roots, but it is working, it's teasing itself out, working out. So this bit's quite nice. But then we've got all this section here, which is, yeah, it's really, really matted. So this is going to take me quite a while. So what I'll do, as you can see, this bit here, this bit's just falling apart. I think the issue is going to be just these sort of sections just here, and then I'm probably going to have an issue around about this section here as well. So I'll just come along, I'll tease these roots out, we'll skip ahead, and I'll come back in a minute once we've untangled a lot of this, and then we'll have a look at the roots, see where we're playing with. Now, I've tried my hardest to bring out as much as I can. The soil is so thick that it's just a big blob of mess on the top. Now the bottom, I had loads of roots just coming from the bottom, so I've just flattened that as much as I can, so now you can see. It's just nice and flat. So I'm just going to go in and try and blast. When I say blast, I'm just going to get the hose on it and a nice spray. I'm just going to try and tease as much of that soil out as possible, so I can try and at least get some into these roots and then bring them out. I use a comb or at least a toothbrush and try and get these radial out as possible. And then these ones here, as you can see, it's grown out and it's probably linking up to this, so I can probably make a feature out of it and then cut this bit back. But again, I'm gonna have to look and see what comes out of it once I wash the soil out. But overall, I've got a nice root base. It's ringing around, I just need to bring it out. So that's where we're at the moment. Again, I'm just going to give it a wash. I'll come back. Once we've done that, we'll have a look, see where we're at with it. So I won't be a minute. Now, I've just washed these out, which allowed me to see these big roots. I've cut a couple of them away. Now, these were strangling all the way around the tree, the base. So all the way around like this. So I was able to get in with my hook and just pull them out, and I've cut them off. Now I've got a couple of more, as you can see, left on. They were going through and strangling the tree. If I left them any longer, they would have completely and utterly killed the tree. So this one here I've managed to keep. So it comes off the tree, comes down, and that went straight through, twisting and turning all the way through these bits, all the way across. So now I've got all these small ones. I'm just going to go in and make trims on the rest of them. I've still got a load of big bits here, that's all twisted. So I'm just going to continue to try and get the bigger ones out so it doesn't continue to strangle the tree. And then it should leave me enough of all these nice finer roots that the tree should flourish. And then I've, as I said, flat bottom the bottom of the tree, and we can bring these finer roots out. The tree will survive. Everything this is growing from all the roots here as well. So we're going to get rid of all these. The tree should have no issues then. And then you never know, I might keep one or two thicker roots that cut back, and then some small finer roots should develop from it. So I'm just going to do this off camera because I've been struggling, as I say, for the last few minutes. Just getting in there, pulling these out. As you can see, they are nasty roots. And they say they went straight round the tree, girdling it. And if I'd have just repotted it and left it, maybe 1 or 2 years, 3 at the most, this tree would have started killing itself. So best for the tree. I've still got a couple. We can make features out of these ones here. That's further away from the tree, but again, I've got to get in and just get the rest of this bits out. As you can see, just here. Oh, right, I'm hoping I haven't took too much root off, but I've washed it out yet again, and we've still got lots of clumping together. So I've got all this just underneath, all the roots here. Now bear in mind, all these finer roots are wet and they have clumped together. So I've got all these roots here as well. I just need to bring them off, but all the big fat roots have gone pretty much. I've got loads. I've got quite a bit in here, all this root here, and all in here as well. Now I will, as they dry out, I'll pull them out, but now we just need to cut off all this extra stuff so that the tree isn't putting extra pressure into staying alive. So extra pressure on these roots. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in, take this off. It's growing from the roots. Before we pot it up, it's making it easier for us to get in there and do this. So you can see, taking this here at the base, taking that out, and this one as well. And come in, put this on an angle so I can get in there properly. There we go. I've got these ones on the back here. These are all coming from the roots as well. So let's take them out. Spin the tree around a little bit. I've also got this one that comes in, and that sneaks up in between the root system here as well. So that's going to be a bit difficult to get in there and get that out, so I might just have to leave it for the time being. And then I've got this one as well that grows off these bridge-like root, so when I take that out, I do like the way this is, so I'm going to keep it as a small feature. We just need to come in and neaten this up a little bit as well. So that's everything off the root system. Let's try and make that a little bit neater. Got that one root there that is going the wrong direction, so I'll take that out as well. Still got this wire on. I am going to leave it for the time being. Let's bend that in a little bit. There we go. We just spread these roots out a little bit just before we go into the repot. Just makes it a little bit easier for us to put it in, and then it allows the roots to grow in a nice radial fashion once it is in the pot. I don't want any more of this twisting roots going on in the future. I've got a little bit here that probably just needs redirecting. Now, this year's mix has got even more sphagnum moss than last year. Hopefully, there we go, these roots can grow up that way. All these roots are short, unfortunately. And I'm hoping that this is enough root system to sustain the amount of tree we've got. It does need pulling back, so there we go, that's what we're looking at. I didn't want to take that much off, but the amount of thick root that we had, I've got plenty coming from the bottom as well, that just needs adjusting upwards. I didn't want to take that much off, but the amount it was girdling the tree, if I didn't take it off, it was going to die anyway in the next year or two, so it had to be done. And I say we took all that other part of the tree off growing from the root, so that's taken a lot of the strain off. And then obviously this section here is part of the root system. It is fat, but it's got lots of strength in there, so it should push out more growth quickly. And then we're going to just give this a light pruning, and then it can go in. We'll look after the tree. It'll go back in the plant room. It won't go out yet. So let's get that into the pot and get it planted up. I've already gone ahead, tied the tree into position, and I've put some extra sphagnum moss just around the base of the roots. So let's go ahead and fill in around the tree with some extra soil. I'm just going to prod this in at the base of the roots, making sure we fill into the extra air gaps. So once I've done that, I'll just give it a water in, and I'll be right back to you. There you go, she's watered in and she's not looking too bad. I just need to give it a gentle trim, just so it's not putting too much pressure on the tree, and obviously we can just get some of the growth inwards and it's not out too far. So first things first is this one here is, as you can see, it's way too far out. So I'm just going to bring it back just slightly. Just going to bring it down just to here, and the same again. I'm just going to bring that back here. I've got an upward growth, just going to take out that bit there. Going to bring everything back just to a nice level section. Got a growth just at the bottom of this section here. I'm going to take that one out. Leads us nice into this part. Got a bit here. I just need to, ideally this section here needs to come out, but it does look nice. I need it to grow to the right really, which is a shame. The only growth to the right is this section. So for now, I think I'll just leave it, and hopefully something will develop lower down. So going to take this middle section out because it's in the wrong place, and then on this just come back just there because it's growing in towards the tree. We don't want anything growing inwards. Just neatens it up that little bit. There we go. In fact, I'll just take this one back a little bit as well. Might even need reducing somewhat more, but for the time being, quite happy with just how it's looking. Well, we can always revisit it. Got this one at the base here. I'm going to come in and take it out. It is a little bit of a problem because I've got the cable or the wire wrapped around there. Snip that in. There we go. But this one, if I leave that one growing, it's going to swell up here. So I need to take that out. Now I hope this angle is not too irritable for you. I hope you can see it okay. As I say, we're checking this angle out today, see how it goes. I just need to come in, take out some bits, open up the growing sections. This one grows right across the tree, so I need to come in and take it off completely. So I need to just get in here, take that there, and then again I've got another couple of bits that just need to be trimmed out, just there, and come on, just there. Bring it in, take that out, got a dead section there. Bring this one back. Looking down here, again, I've got another one that's just crowding it out. Take that off. Again, some of this, I might end up not going too far deep into a detail. I just want to take a lot of the pressure off the tree, but I can see these quite clearly, so I'm just going to take them out. That's great. It's stuck in the tree, I can't get it out. There we go. And then I've got this one that is just here. But you probably can't see it at this angle. But I've just got this one, it just needs taken out. It's in the wrong position. I've just got to come in all the way back here. Just snip that off. Just cleans it up. Just trying to see what's interfering. I've got a couple of branches here that are interfering, just bring them back as well. Bring that down in height. Another part there that's interfering. So again, I'm not taking an awful lot off. Well, my camera's there. I'm only taking little bits off, apart from the obvious single growth like that. But it's little things like that that are making a big difference across the whole tree. Just tiny little sections. Them tiny little sections are making a big difference. I've got that one there. So this section is actually growing. It's growing from this section here. So I've got a little branch, tiny little branch. You might be able to just see it popping there. And let me bring it in. So I've had this tiny little branch just here, and it was actually growing alongside of it and twisting along it, so I had to just remove it. So again, if I'm looking from the back, I've got this branch which you can see me just twinkling here, that is growing across the tree. So again, I'm just going to take that out. Just nice easy decisions. One above it is just growing backwards, into the tree, and then one next to it, it is just too close to the branch, and then one in what I would consider an armpit. Next to that, I've got one too close to the main branch there, and then another one on this branch that just grows in towards the tree, just opens up in a small section. Nothing major decision wise, just eliminating some extra stress from them roots, but also what we're doing is just simple decisions. Got an extra long growth here, just taken out. All I'm doing is just looking for the most obvious errors on the tree, and I'm just taking them off. So again, I've got this little branch that is just growing at the base of two different branches, and if I let it completely continue grow, and I've got another one there as well, it'll just cause swelling. So I'm just taking that off and just eliminate further issues later on down the line. And I've got exactly the same issue with this one there. Just remove that branch out, just take the head of it, because that's going to cause the same issue. Well, let me know what you think. Right, there's the base of it. We'll come up, move you out, nice little trim. Everything is now trimmed up. Shouldn't put too much effort on them roots, not enough strain anyway. So all that effort now from the root prune should, yeah, we should be okay. Not putting too much stress on the roots. So that's the front just here. And then we've got the first branch, the second branch goes off. This here, well, we just need to, I've trimmed it back, but we need to now allow that to develop into an apex, get that a little bit stronger, because as you can see, the right side here and the left side here are pretty strong compared to this. So I just need to allow this to start developing stronger. So as this starts growing now, I'm going to continue to keep trimming this because they're nice and thick either side, and then I'll get this nice and thick, and then we'll get the nice apical region, and it should develop into a nice conical shape. But there we go. So there you go, just there, and then this is the center section here. It grows up and we could develop it nicely. With the new soil and the new pot, it is bigger, so we can now start putting effort into growing this section, and with plenty of sunlight it should do that nicely. I had to trim it down a little bit just because it was cluttered all in there. But as you can see, everything else, it's got all the nice pads starting to come along. We've got this one here as well. And we've got a nice little one just starting over here. And these side ones, the left and the right, just need to allow that center section to grow in. Hopefully, as I say, the root prune, I know I went hard, but it was girdling so much. Whoops, we had to take quite a lot off, and we got the wounds. The roots were literally that sort of size all the way around, and as I say, it was strangling. Another 2 years I would say it would start affecting this tree. So I've cut, you can see again, I've cut another bit there. So if I mound up the bit of the root into the soil there, got a bit of sphagnum moss, let's pop some more there. It should start helping, so that there's no reason that root shouldn't help continue to grow into there and continue helping develop this tree. As I say, we root pruned and we pruned the top as well to help stabilize the amount of effect that root prune does. So there's not a lot of stress. It needed it. It had to do it. It was in that pot for around about 4 years that I've had it, and it was a disaster. So I hope you like this one. I think the tree is looking pretty smart. It's coming on its way, as I say, just in the apex region, not this section, the middle section just here. Once that starts growing in, it should start seeing a more of a apex, and it should go into a conical shape. as everything else develops. We've got this nice back section as well for spinning around. You can see it here. I trimmed that back. It was very long and it didn't have any sort of shape to it. It just spread. So I brought that in as well. So that should now pad out as it starts growing again. We've got the nice shape to it. So the tree itself, as you can see, it's got a nice shape going along. So for further development, we let that grow. We can now start pruning it properly. Just want to push that growth. Hopefully, I didn't take too much root pruning too far. I hope. Serissas, as I say, don't like root pruning, but if I didn't do it, it was going to die anyway. So it's one of them risks I have to take. Do we do it? Do we not do it? Well, if I left it, as I say, it's going to die. So as much as the tree is really nice, I have to do it. We took all the rest of the shoots at the bottom away. That helps stabilise all the stress of that root prune. I took the top off as well. It eliminates more stress. So I've done the best I can, give the tree the best opportunity I can as well to recover. I've got plenty of sphagnum moss around the roots as well, so the tree's going to help. The sphagnum moss is going to help produce more roots. It'll grow into the sphagnum moss and help recover. So fingers crossed, it'll be okay. I'll put it back in the plant room where it's nice and warm. I'll see it in there for the first part of spring, keep it as warm as possible, and then as soon as temperatures are stable and are level consistently overnight as well, I will bring it outside, keep it in the sunshine, and if everything's all going well, I'll do an update and you'll see it's developed but it's still in life. Hopefully the next update, as I say, is alive. If it's not, well, I'll do an update and show it's dead, which I don't want to do. But either way, I'll do an update and fingers crossed. I've got a really nice Serissa. Not quite as good as Nigel Saunders, but you know, I've got a nice Serissa. Anyway, if you like this one, please do give me a thumbs up and wish me luck as well, because as I say, Serissas are hard enough. I've got a variegated Serissa and these roots were nasty. So yeah, please do subscribe as well. If you've not, I would very much appreciate it. So give me a thumbs up, wish me luck, and I'll see you in the next video. So thanks for watching everybody, and yeah, have a nice day.